So it's a beautiful night here in New York City, and I just remembered the first episode of Art World Confessions that I did a few months ago, and how much I've learned in that time. I hope you've enjoyed these episodes. I wanted to speak a little bit about Kynaston McShine, but I actually don't know that much about him. I met him a couple times. By the time I met him, he was already in a wheelchair, and he had this young, handsome white guy pushing him around the Museum of Modern Art. But I admired him for the fact that he's from the same country that I am, Trinidad and Tobago, and that he had managed to come to America and make such an impact on the programming of a major art museum. That was what I really remembered about him, and that was what I valued about him. And again, I didn't know him very well, but I was very proud of him, proud of the fact that he had made such an amazing career for himself as a curator in New York City and on the international art stage. As I said in the previous episode, he curated many of the great artists of the last century. He did exhibitions with their work. You can just search online and you'll find all of this information on Google or wherever it is you find your information. But I also wanted to say that in the last few weeks that I've been doing these Art World Confessions, I've realized that there is a need for representation in the art world. The reason it was so important for me and why I valued Kynaston McShine so much was because there were very few models of Black people working in the contemporary art world in America, in New York City. So to see someone from where I was from doing what I love to do was very, very important for me at that time. Of course, now there are many more people out there, many more curators, many more collectors, many more artists who are in the field, and therefore I guess we take it for granted somehow. But back in Kynaston's time, there weren't that many people at all. And there are some, I won't name them all here right now, but one major artist who we have celebrated in the last few years, his mother was a curator as well. And of course, if it was a Black museum, like the museum in Harlem, then we expect somehow the representation to be already a person of color. But not necessarily true for other art institutions in America, in New York, and across the world. So that's sort of the postscript to the last episode, where I spoke about people don't need to be the same color of the art that they curate. If that were the case, I wouldn't have been showing some artists from Armenia, or showing some artists from Israel, or showing a white American artist, or showing French artists, or showing whatever. We have to somehow get over this idea of exclusivity. We happen to look a certain way in this lifetime. We have a certain appearance, whether it's black, white, we speak a certain language, we wear certain clothes, and we have that as our identity. And yes, it is our identity. It is what we happen to be born into at this time. But beyond that, art goes way beyond our physical identity. On some level, it's reflected in our work, where we come from, our background, our race, etc. But art is faceless, nameless, bodiless, colorless. It's either you get it or you don't get it. And yes, okay, perhaps we have had to make an emphasis on having representation in the art world, and it has, for the most part, been effective. But on another level, everyone pretty much should be appreciative of everyone's talents, regardless of color. And this is not just about the visual artists, but about the people who put the art together, the people who put these shows together, the people who have galleries. It's a much bigger picture than what these small boxes on social media would have us believe. Again, at the end of the day, art is something extremely, extremely spiritual. To forget the spiritual roots of art and focus on anything else, even as cause as dear to my heart as social justice, doesn't make any sense. Really doesn't make any sense. So let's go back, let's remember all that's really important in art is at its core something that all of us share, that those spiritual roots. And If you don't believe in God, that's fine. I mean, you don't have to believe in it in order for it to exist. You know, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. But join us again. Please like, share, subscribe, hit the bell notification button so you know when I upload another episode of Art World Confessions. Thank you for being here through these 30 episodes. If you haven't seen all of them, then go back and check them out. You'll see how the program has developed over the last few months, and I hope you look forward to seeing many more Art World Confessions. Have a great summer. Bye.